I was going to make this a main topic, but you know what? I'm just going to hit you straight because I got to end on time because tomorrow is going to be a long day. So bear with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have absolute chud victory. An absolute chud victory. The game that everybody, all the journalists gaslit us, right? The gaslighting has been wild with this game. South of Midnight. Remember that? Everybody remember that game? The game that was a massive success, and the only reason why the numbers weren't high on Steam was because the game was available on Game Pass, and everybody with their brain knew that, and all of everyone else who didn't know that were just grifting chuds, and they didn't want to admit that a game with a female, a black female of color was successful, and only the chuds and the grifters were the one that hated it, and it was a massive success with all the players in the world on Game Pass, and blah, 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 layoffs. Layoffs. Let's make this bigger. Layoffs. Massive layoffs. It's a beautiful thing. Compulsion Games is another one that's on the list of Xbox layoffs. And it seems like nobody was talking about that. Nobody was talking about that, bro. It's amazing. It's almost as everybody just glazed over South of Midnight because they didn't want to admit that this studio was also a failure, right? Well, Compulsion Games has also experienced layoffs. It says, and last but not least, South of Midnight developer Compulsion Games has also seemingly been affected, with an open-to-work LinkedIn post from Compulsion's ex-release manager, James R., surfacing shortly after the firings began making headlines, which led many to believe his departure is part of the wider layoffs at the studio. Keep in mind, too, they also fired Booty Adams. But that happened before the layoffs, but they also fired Booty Adams. Because once they were done using him, that's it. They used him as community manager, and once the game was released, they fired his ass. So much for DEI, right? It landed you the job while the game was being made, but the moment the game was released, they said, fuck you and all your sugar. Get out of here. Yeah, Booty Adams has been fired a long time ago from Compulsion Games. It's pretty amazing. And then he tries to say, oh, but it was contractual work. You know, I was contracted to only work XYZ amount of time. Bro, if you were any good, they would have kept you. Especially for a community manager position. Wait, so you mean to tell me after the game goes live, they don't need a community manager? Since when? Since when do you not need a community manager while the game is still live and active? Don't you think, oh, I'm sorry, because there's no fucking community? Is that probably why? There's no community for the game, so that's why they got rid of you? Because I'm pretty sure that other people, other companies, other games need community managers after they go live. Yeah, he lost his move. Contractually to put the fries in the bag? Yeah, exactly. So this post is from James R., QA advocate and leader release manager, AAA Games, 10 years experience. Hi, everyone. I'm seeking a new role and would appreciate your support. If you have any opportunities or just want to catch up, please send me a message or comment below. I'd love to reconnect. Open to work. About me and what I'm looking for a production coordinator, a quality assurance manager, QA lead, release manager, and quality assurance specialist roles. I'm open to roles in either Vancouver or Montreal. Of course, Montreal. Of course. I previously worked at Compulsion Games, WB Games Montreal, and Relic Entertainment. So he's worked at places that have all gotten felted by layoffs. WB Games Montreal got destroyed. Relic Entertainment, I'm pretty sure, got a lot of layoffs. And Compulsion Games is now getting layoffs. It's always Montreal, bro. I'm telling you. It's always these people. Why am I not surprised? If your team is looking for someone who could drive quality, build strong testing frameworks, and work cross-functionality with dev, production, and publishing, let's connect. Feel free to reach out our share or any leads if you have any. Thanks in advance. Dude, at this point, I think if we were to somehow, some way, right? If we were to somehow, some way fire every single game development studio and consultancy firm that is in Montreal, Canada, suffice to say, we would probably solve 95% of our problems in the gaming industry. I got to be real with you. I'm sorry for all the Canadians out there, but I'm starting to believe that that would be the case because there is nothing good for the most part that comes out of Montreal. Pretty much everything that comes out of Montreal is fucking terrible. It's really bad. Pretty much every consultancy firm is in Montreal for a reason. And that's because, number one, the government grants are absolutely delicious. They steal so much money from you Canadians, it's insane. The government is giving them so much money, and this is teams of only 2 people, which is crazy. As long as you have one person of color on a team of 2 people, that counts as 50% diversity, and you get hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Canadian government. It's disgusting. And that's why there's so many of these random fucking studios that are making these weird like indie games that cost $10 to make, but they're getting hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars in grants. It is just easy money, bro. I'm about to send Smash JT to Canada in blackface and claim that he's diverse. And then we're going to have a 100% diversity studio and get all the money in the world. Seriously, I think it would work out great. It really would. Easy money, man. Yeah, they're absolute grifters. 100%. No US aid anymore, though. Yeah, but that's for the US, though. We're talking about Canada. Canada, they got all kinds of shit like that. They got all kinds of stuff like that. So, but in any case, I'm happy to report this because this is yet another studio that people have tried to convince us for what? How long has it been now? A few months now? With South to Midnight, everybody told us the game was a massive hit. Every single journalist out there that wrote an article gave it a glazing score, and they were like, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. And it's super successful. And to not believe the Steam numbers, because Steam numbers don't matter, number one. And number two, it's a Game Pass game, so you shouldn't be looking at Steam numbers. That's what they told people all the time. They tell people this all the time. And it's been proven wrong over and over and over and over again, and they keep telling people this. Because they don't want people to know the truth. They want to constantly put out this bullshit. But this is where we're at. So, in any case, you guys can let me know what you think about this. I just wanted to tell you about it. Really fast story. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, a lot of things could go wrong. If I send you to Canada in blackface, I think you will never make it back. I think you would never make it back. I got to be honest with you. I'm almost positive. You'll probably get hanged. But then again, they would have to wash your face first. They can't hang a black guy. That'll be really bad. That'll be really bad. All right, let's catch up on super chats. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got going on here. What are we doing? Get woke, go broke? Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Hold on, I'm looking through the chat right now. Let's see. We got GDR with a 5. It won't be long before the Sony layoffs. Yup, true. If they don't start making more exclusives, Sony would die out. Oh, I didn't even talk about that. Oh my God, dude.